Hey guys, welcome to a quick review of target 080806. This was a session that I did a couple of days ago. I'm just going to go through it and bring up some points and some links that I'm going to make from the session about the target. So on that note, let's kick into it. It's my admin page. Alright, so first off we got the trace, so let's go through. Slowly getting heavier as tracing feels pressure building around me like full body suit, which is tight. Structures formed around body and head, large heavy structure. On the declare on the B, I've got structure form begin, structuring form, pressure releasing, and energetic pressure in a structural form as well. So as far as the target goes, we've got the two people who are wind walking and they got married in a ceremony. And really we've only got the one picture that we can bring up, which is them riding on the plane. We've got the priest and the two of them. So, wow, that's pretty cool. Anyway, let's kick and see what I got in the session. So as far as touch one goes, boom, we've got me here in my sort of session pose, sitting down at a table, pen in my hand, and I can feel energetic release out of head, pressure felt. So I've got it coming out of everything in my upper body, arms, shoulders, head, everything. It just felt like there was a bit of pressure that I could feel, a lot of pressure just expelling from me or just coming from me that I could feel. Arms feel light, energetic, release outwards, like head as well. Something is expressing outwards, being expresses outwards. Okay, so it's just rushing out when I had the thing. So if we're looking at the pictures, I could be any one of those characters. I could even be the plane. Just feeling the air pressure rush past that person while they're trying to do their stunts, their ceremony, and that sort of thing. What else have we got? Still form structure in body. Body feels structural, pressured, body strong, heavy, high pressure. Okay, so that could mean to me that either I'm a person who's got the body suit on, or a flight suit or safety suit or whatever kind of suit, or I'm actually the plane. You know, I'm feeling the structure of the plane. A lot of these words that I'm using sort of suits the structural, not of a person, but of a structure itself, or non-person. Anyway, boom, 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 boom. So yeah, easily be the person on top, or easily be the plane itself. Let's kick into from touch 1 to touch 2. So touch 2, feel cold surface outside, feel core of body being quite solid, feels condensed like rocks. Yeah, rock-like. So condensed, feeling quite solid. Feel feet and ankles feel like cold spots. Feels like heavy object on my foot, something heavy standing on my foot. So I've had a look at a few of these videos for these wing walkers. They usually have straps where they strap your feet down, or you put into a sort of a sleeve on top of the wing, just to keep your feet steady while it might be doing some acrobatics or something, I don't know. But I've seen the straps there, so that's what I'm thinking that might be. As far as the condensing, something quite solid, not too sure what that could be, but yeah, the standing on my foot thing, it was really weird because I could feel all this energy around me, and when I wanted to try and move my foot, it didn't want to move, and that's when I noticed, hey, my foot's not moving, and when I try and move it, it doesn't want to move. So it's obviously something that's quite stationary on the target. So I'm thinking it was that foot slipper thing where they stick their feet in and secure their foot straps. So foot straps. Touch 3, what we've got here. All right. Solid object and head pressure is high, tired, light, tight form, structural, high pressure, tight. So there goes tight again. Touch feels like a focus point, like a headache is tight. Okay, so I've got a picture here. I've got it of a circle of my head, and this is the cross section of it. So if I'm looking this way with my little nose there, I felt the thing in the front felt very. It just felt really tight. You know how you get really tired and you just tighten your head? That's what it felt like. It felt really tight. And at the behind my head, it actually felt like solid pressure. It was also tight, but my whole head was tight at the time. But that solid pressure, that's where it was located on my head. So I'm starting to think that either it was a helmet of some kind, or I'm starting to feel bits of the plane, where it might be the tail or engine. Who knows? I'm not really sure. But this is where it sort of went a bit. Where would this be on the person? So I'm thinking that looking at the picture, they may have some safety headgear or something on. I'm not entirely sure, but let's carry on. Texture 1, what we've got here is okay, so I was sitting down probing, doing the session, and when I did the texture 1, patches of coldness and flows on different bits of head and arms and legs. Wet cold flows through raining, bad weather, splashing against skin. Okay, so I don't know if it was a bad day or anything for them, but as I was sitting there was cold and wet spots that I could feel around my body. I don't know why I was feeling that cold. It sort of felt like, you know how you get stuck in a shower and you get those little, where the water hits you, it's a bit wet, it's a bit cold. It's not all like a windy cold day. It's like a summer shower, you know. It's not entirely uncomfortable. Wet, cold flows, thought raining, bad weather, splashing against skin. So, you know, just flicks of water hitting the skin. Maybe it was a bit moist, humidity was up, don't know. But that's what I could feel on that particular sensitivity. Let's go to... Did I jump straight from texture 1 to texture 3? Yes, I did. Alright, so here's texture 3. Feels light, cold, energy through open, exposed flow energy. Everything else feels numb except for this whole feeling in upper back. This whole, I believe, feels light, cold, energy through open, exposed flow energy. Everything else feels numb except for this hole in the back. I believe that could be where the person sits in the plane. So it could be an empty seat in the plane where this person would have sat, because these planes usually have 2 seats, or they can have 2 seats. So I'm thinking that one of those seats is empty, and this is me feeling the hole in it. That's the only sort of explanation where I could feel an empty hole in my back, because I've felt holes in the past, and I know it has to be a hole. It's the omission of anything in that impression, and that's how I understand it's a hole. Anyway, temp 2, feel heat coming from chest, like slow build up. Feel movement in left foot, moving, sore ear. Alright, temp 2. I can only think one or two things. If it's a person, then I can feel the heat of that person. But I don't understand why a slow build-up would be felt unless it was anxiety. Feel movement in left foot, moving, sore ear. I'm not too sure moving. I could feel actions and movements, and a sore ear. I was getting a sore ear at the time, but I'm starting to think that I am feeling what the plane is feeling, because I can understand the heat that I felt and the build-up that led to that feeling of build-up. It felt mechanical and not organic, if that makes sense. So yeah, I can feel the heat coming from my chest, and it felt like a mechanical heat, not a my emotions weren't really being affected, but it was a build-up of heat, not anxiety. Anyway, so sore ear. I've got a theory on that, but I'm not too sure. I'm thinking that might be the engine, or the propeller. I'm not entirely sure. But anyway, that's it for temp 2. Temp 3 feels like a column of warmth rising from below me up through my body and past my head. So yeah, while I was probing here for temp 3, I could feel a column of warm air just sort of rise within me and go through me. I am not sure what that could be when I'm looking at the target. I don't know why it would be the people. I reckon they would be freezing their butts off. I'm actually thinking that it might be actually the plane, and how the plane warms up and just sort of it goes through the plane or the heat. But neither here or there. I'm looking into both. Just watch out in the future. It'll just develop that database in your head as to what it actually pertains to. But yeah, just heat just rising past me, starting from the bottom and just rising through the top, and that's what I can feel. All right, let's go through to colors. So we've got color 1, and bing bang boom, we've got warms, reds, darks and brights. So as the picture looks like, the planes are reds and whites and darks, I suppose, black. So color 1, bang on the money. Number 2, yellows, darks, greens, greys. Well, darks, greens, greys. Yellows, darks, greens, greys. I don't know what that could be. It could be anything really. Well, if you look at the second picture that's there, it's got all the colours there as well. Yellows, darks, greens, greys. So he's got a grey suit. There's green grass behind him. He's wearing a flower. I didn't say reds, so maybe I'm missing that one, but got the others. Yellows, greens, blues, light greys, darks. Ugh, yeah. Anyway, colours came through. Next one, smell 1. Smell light, plastic, subtle sweet, construction, large, lots of. So what I mean by this, lots of native, lots of biology. There just seemed like a lot of nature around this thing. And that's why I put forest. It just felt like I was surrounded by a lot of energy. But I don't know, yeah. So that's all I could feel like. Whether that can line up in the picture, I can only think that, I wasn't surrounded by nature. I was surrounded by nature's wind. But yeah, smell light, plastic, yeah, subtle, sweet, construction, large. So neither here or there, just another bit of experience in that impression. Smell 2, man-made, construction, busy, smells a lot of smells, warm air currents, AOL eruption volcano. Warm air currents. Well, there's definitely air currents. What do we got? Construction, busy. Smell 3. We've got tightness in head felt. Pre-squeezed head. Yep, it did feel like a squeezed head. Like it was just like something was squeezing in on the head, and some of it was rushing out the top. And I can only think that it was this air pressure or something in the pressure was felt, definitely. Here 1, air sounds like landscape. Here long distance, empty, long way, large noise, open outside. So yeah, so when I put my ears on, I could, it's like you can hear a long way. You can hear a massive stadium compared to like a small room, and this just felt like a massive landscape. So that's why I put sounds like landscape, because it just feels like you can hear for a long distance, and whatever hits your ears has been trailing on that wind for a long time. And that was here number 1, so 1 for landscape. Here 2, air pressure. Okay, 1 hour break. Feels like ears going to pop. Elevation. So sounds like I was elevated, so maybe my ears were popping or building up in pressure to the point of popping. Going to pop. So what am I saying? Here 3, ears feel pressure building up, head feels like tightening in forehead, dense sensation, stressed facial muscles, sore inner ear, uncomfortable like, stressed facial muscles. Yeah, just felt like stressed facial muscles. Ears feel pressure building up, head feels like tightening in forehead, so definitely the elevation. There's more going in that space as well. Uncomfortable, like, yep, I was getting that sore inner ear. It was definitely part of that probing and part of the target. Join 1, head feels like tight, like headache tight, feeling dense, feeling uncomfortable. Join 2, feels like a shower covered in water, feeling. Feels like a shower, covered in water feeling. Cover head, emerge. Join 3, roughness, detail, can't articulate, construction. Cold, building, structures, stones. Snow, cold bits, wet bits. And I can feel a structure on my arm, holding and wearing. So I don't know what that could be. I wonder if they were holding anything. Could be a watch. Next. So snapshots. I had this image pop up in my vision, and it was just something that was spinning really fast. Rotation, spin, construction. And I believe that was the engine. Number 2, I could feel this hole, I think it was where the pilot sits or where that passenger bit sits. I could feel like a depression, like something was missing, and I needed to draw that shape. But anyway, it was a shape, and I believe it was the part where the pilot or the passenger sits. Snapshot number 3 here, I'm not too sure what the hell was going on. Now this one felt like something that extended on for a while. I didn't finish that picture because I was just sort of losing it towards the end. That sort of looks like a plane sort of wing at the back, but no, I couldn't finish these pictures. I just lost the image that I was trying to create. Then I went to another one, then I went to another one, then I was like, no, gotta stop. Anyway, next. So coming to the matrix, we've got sensor rules, which are really just an accumulation of what we did previously, but we do a probe anyway. Feels like movement, slowly, movement in body slowly coming out, building up pressure. Yeah, I don't know what that is. Tight around head, upper movement in back, energy source and flow. So I'm thinking that someone's sitting in there. I'm actually feeling either the pilot or the passenger sitting in that hollow. Tight around head. I'm starting to think that might have been the propeller and or the engine, because there was a lot of energy there. Why would it be tight? I'm not too sure. Something spinning really fast means it's the positions of energy in that space is changing rapidly, so maybe the body can't keep up. I'm not too sure. Magnitude. Body feels weakened, like feeling. Can't move, heavy, solid, so heavy, hard to move body. Old, draining energy felt in body. Maybe that was the plane structure. Topological, felt something in my hands, activity, body feels floating, weightless. Definitely the plane. Don't know about why it's got X, and I sort of drew a building going through. I'm not too sure. Maybe that's Star Wars inspired. Anyway, let's carry on to the next one. Energetics. Feel flows around legs, cold air coming down body. Flows feel like the wind inside of legs. So, as I'm sitting here in the probe pose, I could feel air just rushing through my legs like flows, and that's why I drew it like that. So I can only think that maybe I'm a person on that plane and the wind is just rushing past. Subjectives, high excitement building up slowly, anticipation, breathing, quickening. Yeah, wind walking would do that. It's not exactly waiting material, but you never know. I don't know, really. Physical, what we've got. So this is the modelling technique where I just wave my arm over a certain area of space and try and figure out what I'm feeling. So I've got here, heavy object, weight, arm down, heavy to move. So I've got the dip in the plane. I can feel that dip. I could feel something straight and something coming up from the front. But when I moved my hand towards the back, it felt like there was like crisscrosses happening on my arm that I could feel as my arm moved towards the back. So it was definitely structure of some kind. So I'm thinking straight lines with notches. I think that's the structure of the plane, and I think that's the dip of the pilot seat, and the rest is just maybe the wings, maybe the engine part that haven't been articulated yet. But that's the gist of this physical, I reckon I was getting. But the main thing was this dip. I could feel the absence, so it was definitely that hole. And now physically, I could feel the shape of it coming through. Anyway, let's carry on. Paraphysical, cold flows around feet, cold surface of skin. Yes. Symbolics. Now, for some reason, I drew some sort of lips or a volcano cone, and I drew spinning all the way down. I'm not entirely sure what that meant. I think it may have been related to the engine of the plane, but I have no idea. So, does it fit? No, it doesn't really link with anything. Concepts. Tight suit, skin, head tight, feel cold, skin exposed, energetic skin, feel energy movement, back feels structural, some small movement. So as far as concepts and the ideas, they exist in the target. Tight suit, yeah, the guys could be wearing something tight, head tight, they could be wearing headgear. Feel cold, yes it will be. Skin exposed, yes it is. Energetic skin, feel energy, movement. I'd say the rushing of air past the person's skin can count as that. Back feels structural, some small movement. They're leaning against a support, so that could be it as well. So, very so-so. Personal response, yes, goosebumps, sore ears, tight head, onset of light headaches. Yeah, that's what it felt like. It felt like the onset of light headaches, that the head was just ready to just go to that stage of, yeah, I got a headache. Yeah. And I believe those sore ears and that tightness in your head, in my head, was the engine and oil propeller. As far as the matrix goes, we've got the first snapshot. Now, this one looked really weird. I got structures going, but I had these weird, I thought they were roots, so I just drew them there. They don't really relate to the picture at all. I don't understand what they could be. It could be the wing. you know, the same sort of design, the curvy design on them, but you know, that's pretty stretching. So I'm not going to really be bothered too much about it. I know something came through, just not entirely sure what. Number 2, so this one I keep on getting peaks. So this one had 3 peaks, 3 points, and I had something curved all along to the side. Yeah, just not entirely sure what that's all about either. So very symbolic, and I put unknown as well. Maybe there's mountains where there are. I didn't really see any mountains in that area of the country, or was it Cirencester, Gloucestershire, Rencombe Airfield? Yeah, I didn't really see any hills or mountains, that sort of thing. I think they've got hills. But yeah, that's the session, guys. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for watching. And I'll see you guys next time. All right. Catch ya. See ya.